This is in response to basically what the government has decided to do. They are deciding that they are going to put out a bill to regulate wrestling. Yes. The United States government has also decided that they were going to try and throw their greedy little fingers straight into the Canadian area as well, trying to basically put a massive control on professional wrestling. I think it's even supposed to extend out somewhere to Japan. People, we cannot let this happen. This just cannot be allowed whatsoever. First off, the United States should not have the right to police any other countries at the sporting events, let alone should they have the right to sit there and police our entertainment events. This isn't like this is some sort of sport that you can bet on because you don't know who's going to win or there's no definite outcome. It's choreographed. I mean, as much as I love wrestling and as much as I actually fully intend to be a wrestler, I'm in training, but I'm not so blind as to think that this is not choreographed and set up. We have to come together as wrestling fans and say that this is enough. This cannot be allowed to happen. Basically what I want to do is Ispera and RVD Tito and anybody else who subscribes to me, subscribes to either of those guys, you know about this in any way, shape, or form. Basically, we need to start signing a petition. We need to sign a giant online petition, and basically what we can do from there is bring it to each of our congressmen in our states or towns or wherever else. Basically, once we show enough support against this, it should be able to bring a pretty good point to the U.S. government that this will not fly. Basically, also what you need to do is go around your town, find all your friends that are wrestling fans, all their friends that are wrestling, anybody who remotely even likes wrestling or knows about wrestling or has family members in wrestling, need to sign a petition stating that we do not want the U.S. government to interfere under any circumstances. It just can't be allowed to happen. These guys, when they do take steroids, they take steroids of their own free will. Now, granted, some of them do abuse that, and they should be dealt with, but they should be dealt with by their company, not by the U.S. government. The U.S. government does not care about us whatsoever. You think Vince McMahon treats the audience like crap? Please. You want to think what the U.S. government's going to do? Because they're not going to be joking about it. This isn't going to be a storyline. This is going to be, fuck you, have a nice day. And if you don't have a nice day, oh well, too bad. Doesn't matter to us. Basically, this is a Mothers Against Wrestling situation. We are dealing with a very pissed off organization, and they're about to piss off us. We need to make the U.S. government realize that this is not a wise move under any circumstances. The same way it's not wise to try and put bans and limiting on video games. You can't do that. Freedom of speech and freedom of interaction. We have the right as Americans, we have the right as human beings to do as we please. The U.S. government is going to try and police this issue. We can't let them do it. They need to be told to back off. We don't want them in this. We didn't ask for them to get into this, and we're not going to let them get involved. So please, 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 put aside your differences as wrestling fans. I know that some of you are for TNA. I know some of you for WE, some of you for ROH, some of you for Gulf Coast Wrestling, some of you for NWA. There's so many different organizations out there, and they're all great. They all have their points and potential. But right now, so many of you are arguing over the trivial matters, and I can't stress to you enough that this needs to be put aside because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. And right now, my enemy is the U.S. government for trying to police this wonderful business. Because whatever affects WWE is going to affect TNA, it's going to affect ROH, it's going to affect GCW, NWA, and any other wrestling organization, indie or mainstream. It doesn't matter who they are or where they're from. Everybody's going to get targeted by this. Now, granted, I don't ever intend to use steroids, but the last thing I want is the U.S. government telling me that there's certain moves or matches that we can't have anymore because of whatever. And in the off chance that for some reason I do need to take steroids for whatever reason, I don't want that hindered by the U.S. government. I'm not saying that we should necessarily have to take steroids, but I'm saying if the option is presented to us and it's going to help my career, I might just do it. That's my decision. That's my choice. I don't go around telling other people what they can and cannot do. So don't bring that up to me. Don't bring that to me. Don't tell me that I can't be me. And also, on another subject, trying to basically bring Americans up as pussies and losers, lights on or whatever it is, you attack Isbara or whatever. Please don't pull that kind of shit. That kind of racism bullshit is not necessary under any circumstances. You made a basic short clip to sit there and bash the U.S. Just because our government is slightly screwed up doesn't mean that our people are slightly screwed up. Just because I don't agree with some of the stuff that the Canadian government does or doesn't do, doesn't mean that I think all Canadians are the same way. It doesn't mean that I think all Japanese are the same thing as their government. There are different types of people in this world, and that needs to be respected. Our governments are there for a reason, whether we agree with them or not. If we don't agree with them, we need to step up and tell them, which is basically what I'm asking everybody here to do. So, RVD Tito for life, Isbara, basically right now, as I can see it, you two are kind of the stronger forces in this particular endeavor. Crazy Mike's a guest up there too. I'm sure he'll want to have his piece to say on this. Basically right now, we need to get on this and just tear it apart, because we don't have time to sit here and argue amongst ourselves over which company is better. Because if we don't do something about this now, then there may not be any companies to argue over in the future. Or if there are, it won't be worth arguing because nobody will be watching it. Please, send me a message, text me, whatever it takes. If you need help starting this up, believe me, I will be on my computer in a second to start up a petition. And I will email it to everyone. So just let me know what's going on. Let me know what you guys want to try and do. If you need more ideas, let me know. TNA Junkie, letting you know.